Just thought I'd let you know that we have just launched the podcast on YouTube. Tune into our electrifying conversations with local runners and expert guests, covering everything from training tips to inspiring stories that'll have you lace up your sneakers in no time. But wait, there's more. Spread the word like wildfire, and don't forget to hit the share button, tell your running buddies, your workout pals, heck, even tell your neighbour's cat. Everyone deserves to join the running revolution. So you're thinking about running, but not sure how to take the first step. My name is Brian Patterson, and I'm here to help. Welcome to Brian's Run Pod. Well, welcome back to Brian's Run Pod, and in our final discussion with mental health advocate Husnara, we uncover the parallels between the discipline of running and managing mental health. As we navigate the psychological terrain of running, we embrace the idea that self-care extends beyond the conventional, finding solace in the rhythms of our footsteps and the healing nature of the paths we tread. Join us for our discussion that promises to leave you empowered with the strategies and insights for balancing the strides of running with the strides toward mental clarity. I really do hope you enjoy our chat. And if you haven't listened to the previous discussions, then please do delve into our archive. Now, I did talk about this with someone who was a physiologist. So he looks at, analyzes running technique and whatever. But he did bring up an essential point that, those people who do run regularly and who are, very, maybe in that top 20% of, they're doing a lot of miles and whatever. But then they will get injured. They will inevitably, if they will get injured. But this could, as he said, affect their mental health or how, because they're not doing the thing they love doing.
Yes.
What do you, is there an approach to help deal with injuries and those people who are suffering from injuries?
Yeah, I'll give you, one thing I will say is that firstly, in terms of like what I'm kind of promoting about running, you don't need to do huge miles, when you do huge miles, there are some different types of benefits, anecdotally and some scientifically as well, like in terms of getting to that runner's high, really clearing your mind and being in the moment. But really, most of the runs I do are like 30 minutes, honestly, like 30, 40 minutes, and it gives me everything I need. So you don't need to get to a point where you're running excessively to get a lot of the mental health benefits of running. And another thing I'll say is that even for me, over the last couple of years, to be honest, I've had a bit of an injury, a repetitive strain injury on my knee. So it's kind of stopping me, sadly, from getting beyond 5 miles. And I've had some physio from it, and it kind of helped a little bit, and it's kind of coming back again now. But I've kind of got this sweet spot of 5 miles I can run in. And in a way, I'm kind of like, well, it's kind of working for me because I'm getting what I need. I'd love to be able to do like long miles, longer distances, but it doesn't affect me too much. So that's where I am in terms of injury stuff. But in terms of like, if you're really injured, even just walking is great, it's like you still get so many of the same benefits, but I feel running, it just speeds it up. You're getting to that mental state a lot quicker, and high intensity exercise like running has scientifically been shown to do a lot of these amazing things to the brain, like the neurogenesis and stuff like that you talked about in the other podcast. So running is unique in that sense, but a lot of the mental health benefits you can also draw in other ways through walking and even just meditation. It works for a lot of people.
Good point.
Repeated meditation. So there's lots of other things, that you can do if you're injured before you get back into running again.
Or even, maybe the injury may highlight, or your body saying that maybe you're not doing either enough strength work or definitely. Or using, other tools like, other exercises like Pilates for core work or that kind of thing. So it is a way of your body saying, excuse me. That way. Or, even doing, you're overtraining, because, you can be tired at work
Yeah.
and that kind of, you're not feeling.
Yeah, I think it's so true. Like, I think we just need to tune in, tune into our bodies. And I think that's what my book is sort of geared towards doing. And I would just say, yes, like, listen to your body. If you are injured, what's it saying? Like, why are you getting there? Like, listen to it, not just, oh God, I've got to get over it. What exercise do I need to do to get back again? But just really tune into your lifestyle, what's going on. And and you can make some good changes.
Yeah. Or I do recommend dancing.
Dancing. Oh,
yes.
That's a good one.
So, my wife and I go dancing once a week, and that's very good for, again, having to use your mind and having to move it. There's a lot to be said for that, so because, people
moving your body,
moving your body.
It's great. Yes, I think movement is so key. And that's another sort of, I won't go off tangent for too long, but like, there is a growing movement which is talking about movement as part of meditation, because I know for a long time it's all like been about seated meditation, but now there's a growing trend that's saying you need to move, and how important movement is in meditation. So, and the running falls into some of that dialogue too. So,
especially these days. I think a lot of us are like, I'm just over like this, and like looking at our phones and that kind of thing. And then it's really,
we're not good for that.
We're not good for that. Yeah, exactly. I think one thing I could talk to you about loads of different things, but no, there's one thing I really, my dad's in a care home quite near here, and every Saturday we go for a walk. And the thing I love, we go through Bushy Park. I don't know if you know Bushy Park, but we walk through there. And then even now, there's a Tai Chi class taking place, which is outside. And it's like, I don't know, it's about 5 degrees today or something like that. And I think they just look so at peace with, everything around them. And I just think they look fantastic. And it's great to see. It's really great to see, sort of thing.
Totally.
And they're getting so much, I know we're talking about running, but that the benefits and the well-being, it's so, they must be getting so much from doing that. So
oh, completely. I was looking at some science recently about how, like, animals, how they deal with trauma, which is they physically shake it off. So like dogs and other animals, when they're attacked or face some sort of trauma, they physically shake, and they shake it off. And we as humans, we don't do that. We're very like, we hide away, and we keep it in our bodies and we store it. And the impact of that has ramifications on our minds and bodies, and so we end up sort of storing that trauma within us, so it can show up as somatic symptoms and psychologically, obviously. So so it's really interesting. So I think that's why it's really important to move, in any way, whether it's running, dance, just start moving. Yoga,
do you do I know you said, you've done a marathon, and then, you're sort of doing 30 minutes running, but do you do anything specific in terms of running? Do you do any sort of tempo running or interval running? And do you find any of those different types of training, do they enhance the way you feel?
Yeah. If I'm completely upfront with you, I am going to say no. Because
That's fine.
Because I don't do much speed stuff. I'm really slow. I'm a really slow runner, if I'm honest with you, but I love it. And recently I've been doing a bit more of a walk runs, just because of my knee. But really what I do, because I notice that I need to build up my strength, so I do go to the gym to do some strength work, squats and all of that. And I do it. I find it boring, if I'm totally honest with you, but I do it so I can run. I genuinely do it so I can run, and so I don't get injured. And I do yoga, and I love yoga. Absolutely love it, especially being here in Bali. It's a big yoga
retreat. Yes,
retreats. Beautiful studios, amazing teachers. but I don't get the same psychological benefit. But it has helped with running in terms of just stretching, and certain yoga poses are really good with stretching out, my legs and stuff. So that's helped. But in terms of different types of running and for mental health, I wouldn't say there is anything specific, to be honest.
The only thing I find that is that, okay, if I go for a longer run, I mean, these days it's 5K or 5 more K. But I find that if I do a short speed session, it's more I just feel it's such an intense session that I feel I get just as much out of it as I do then going for a longer run, sort of thing. And I just feel that has a different way of making me feel. So I feel, oh yeah, great. I mean, it's only 3K or something like that. It could be just 30 minutes fast and slow, that kind of thing. And then, 30 seconds fast and slow. And then, and then, but
psychologically different with the shorter.
So the longer run, I think there's two things. Is that in a treadmill on the longer run, you really have to be in that strong mindset that you have to, you're going to get. Whereas when you're outside, you're taking in outside, and it doesn't seem to, as long as I've got the aerobic capacity and it's fine, then I do a route and I find fine. But on the longer run, isn't a problem. Whereas I think for the treadmill is quite good for like a speed session where you can control the various the incline and the speed and that kind of thing. But you do find that's, you have a really good intense session sort of thing. Whereas if you're on outside, then you might meet, traffic lights or something like that. And you're in the middle of your fast session and there's suddenly, oh no, I can't, sort of thing. But But, and also you can't control the speed. Am I going fast enough or not, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So,
yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Any advice you would give to people to new runners who find that maybe before it wasn't for them, and then maybe it's, it wasn't for them because for whatever reason or whatever, but maybe because, they are come to the time of their lives that maybe they aren't feeling, they are feeling stressful for one reason or another. And then how will they get out the door?
I think the main advice to new runners, I'd say, is trying to find a way to get consistent with it, and keeping consistent with it, because often it's so easy to sort of give up before you start to see any of these. So you're not going to see these psychological benefits straight away, especially if you're new to running and you're resisting it. And because all you're going to be thinking about is, oh my God, I'm out of breath. Oh my God, my legs hurt, all of this stuff, So really the key thing is trying to get consistent with it, regular with it, show up, and get your body used to those feelings, of being out of breath, and changing how you see those experiences of when you're running out of breath and you think, oh my God, I'm going to die because I can't breathe, and then thinking, actually, no, this is the first time I've done this, or second time, of course I'm going to feel like out of breath. My body's just getting used to it. It's pumping lots of oxygen around. So starting to change the way you perceive some of these bodily sensations at the beginning is important. So that might take a bit of time, but really it's about just running consistently for a few weeks. So to train your body to get over some of these initial barriers is going to be key. And then you can start building it as part of a habit. And the other thing I say is managing expectations. So even me, I've been running for a long time, and not just me, like lots of other runners I speak to, everyone says, even runners like ultramarathon runners, the first mile or two is always hard. Yeah. And sometimes it can be horrific, in terms of, oh, my legs are really tired, really heavy, or I'm really out of breath today. And that can be for a number of different reasons, So it's being mindful that actually that first mile is hard for everybody, And so it's managing those expectations of what you think that a runner is and what those first miles are going to look like. And once you do reset your expectations about those things, then it becomes more comfortable, and you become more comfortable with the discomfort. And then you start learning amazing things through running.
Do you think it's worth doing a diary thing, or, you know, or is
Oh,
it?
really good idea. That's a
So
very good idea. And it's kind of links in with some of the exercises I do actually, which is
yeah,
recording
yeah,
kind of like how you're feeling, what you're thinking beforehand. But yeah, even a diary of maybe
yeah,
that's an excellent idea, Brian. So
yeah,
just saying at the
yeah,
beginning, just writing down like,
yeah,
okay, maybe setting yourself a goal and being like, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to run, I don't
mm,
know, even if it's 10 minutes, we're doing like a couch to 5K type thing. So running for a minute on and off for 20 minutes or whatever. And then saying, okay, I'm going to do it for 3 weeks. And then every day, whenever you do it, just write down how many minutes you did run for.
mm,
And then actually you will see more often than not, you'll see some sort of improvement,
yeah,
either in how you're feeling or how much you were
yeah,
able to do.
yeah,
It's very unlikely that you won't see over time some improvement, whether in you
yeah,
physically or mentally.
yeah, yeah.
So that's a
Because I
really
don't
good
know if,
idea.
I mean, I don't know if you know, but I mean, do people who are in treatment for, depression or
Mm.
whatever? I mean, do they have to keep a kind of like a log of or a diary about how they're feeling on a day-to-day basis or
Yeah,
something like that? Or
it's a very usual common technique, actually,
mm,
for people who suffer from depression or anxiety, where maybe a therapist might ask them to like keep a diary of what their day looks like, for example.
yeah,
They can like start monitoring, like what is it like when they start looking for patterns in terms of triggers or things
yeah,
that
yeah,
where they have. For example, I remember when I was working as a clinical assistant psychologist, and I'm helping people to try and identify periods of times they might relapse again. So to try and prevent relapse. So we'll look at them keeping a diary almost and seeing, okay, what are the things that are happening for you, and how much are you sleeping, how much are you eating? So looking at habits and things like that. So recording those types of things are really helpful in terms of just seeing how your overall day is, mood is, what's triggering you, what's affecting you,
right,
what's getting you to a state of maybe fear or anxiety. So
yeah,
it is a thing that's used quite commonly in those types of settings.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to just sort of tap back into, before we finish our
Mm.
brilliant discussion. How do individuals recognize that they do have a mental health issue? So is it just that I'm not feeling, for one
Mm.
reason I'm not feeling comfortable with where I work, or I'm just
Mm.
feeling,
Yeah,
I'm a bit sad about something. But do
yeah.
I say to myself, well, do I have,
Mm.
is this
It's
is
such a fine line in a way,
mm,
really. It's such a fine line because we all struggle, don't we? We all struggle
yeah,
with difficulties, and I might not be clinically depressed in terms of,
yeah,
because obviously depression has a clinical diagnosis in terms of
yeah,
how long and how persistent it is.
mm,
So, and they've got criteria. But then obviously I've had loads of days where I felt so down. I was just, oh God, I just don't want to get out of bed, or
yeah,
my energy
yeah,
levels are so low because of my mood,
yes,
So it's a fine line in terms of if I'm, am I mentally ill,
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I guess I don't. But I guess if you are really struggling from a mental health problem, that's when it's really starting to have an impact on wider things and
yeah,
living
yeah,
your life
yeah,
the way you want to.
yeah,
And if it's like your depression is having an impact on you keeping your job or relationships, then it's becoming a real big problem.
yeah, yeah.
So I'd say that's a marker if things are not great,
Yes, yeah. So if
We
it's
all
kind
struggle.
of, like I said, it's affecting other areas of your life,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
probably for a prolonged period
Mm.
of time, and then
Exactly.
as we've obviously talked about
Mm.
quite a bit, that it's maybe choose some form of physical activity or even running to help to
Yes.
reset yourself. So yeah,
Reset.
yeah,
Exactly. And just have that as a coping mechanism within yourself, that you can lean on at any time, which is it's great. It's that it's free, accessible to pretty much most people and any time of day, and you can lean on it.
mm,
So it's a great first port of call. And I truly believe there's a space for medication, space for psychological therapy. But as a society, if I'm honest, I feel like in the Western world, we lean too much on external things like that.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I'm not feeling great. Okay,
yeah,
I need to go,
mm,
get drunk, or, forget about my situation, or I need to go and get some medication and deal with it.
yeah.
That's not helpful,
That's
and
true.
that's a
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
So for me, it's
you're
about,
just you're just highlighting it and just making the problem worse, sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's kind
And
of like
so for me, it's all
spiraling.
about,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're not dealing with it. And for me, it's all about how do we utilize the resources we already have. And I feel like as humans, we are equipped with so much that we're only just tapping into and realizing now through science that we have a lot of resources within us to heal ourselves emotionally, physically, and we should tap into that first. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to promote with the book is lean on that first, and then obviously go for other things as and when you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, try it.
Well, we've done just over an hour, and it's been brilliant to talk to you. Obviously, apart from your book, I don't know when are you looking to publish, or when's it coming out?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm sort of pitching to publishers in the UK and US. I've got pretty much first draft of my manuscript and just refining it. It feels never ending.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a date yet. So yeah, I will, but I will keep in touch, Brian, and I'll let you know.
And you have a Instagram, don't you?
I do. Yes, I have an Instagram, running, writing mindfully. Right. So yeah, do follow me. I'm kind of sharing my running, writing journey on there, and a bit of life here in Bali, which is amazing. And it's an amazing place to run. It's very different from London.
Very jealous. I mean, just out of interest, I mean, do you find, there's regular routes and out there, or do you run sort of different routes or anything like that?
I run a regular route only because it's the safest one I've found.
Right.
Yeah, there are no pavements here.
Right.
Like pavements are often broken, patchy, and there's scooters everywhere, and it's really not up for walking or running, which is a shame. So there's some rice fields at the back of my house, so I normally run along those rice fields. There are still scooters on the rice fields, but very few in the morning. So I tend to go really early before it gets too hot, like around 6 a.m. sunrise time.
Yeah.
And so I just run across the rice fields. But even then, you're still jumping over potholes or dead snakes.
Right.
Sorts,
right. Okay. My gosh. All right. That's.
But what's wonderful is that I love seeing. So we have two volcanoes on the island. The biggest one is Mount Agung, and I get to see it on like clear days, and it's just the most spectacular view. Brilliant. So whenever I go on my rice field run, I'm just always hoping I get to see it because it is so amazing.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm really enjoying that.
Oh, well, it's a shame we couldn't see it on the Zoom call, but there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming onto the podcast, and thank you,
Brian.
As I said, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully you'll get a publishing deal and it will come out in the next few months or so, and I'm looking forward to reading the book.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you. I've loved every second of it. It's just always a joy to talk.
As I said, I mean, we could have talked for hours about.
Honestly, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay. And that's a wrap for another exhilarating episode of Brian's Run Pod. Thanks for tuning in, folks. As always, we've got your back with all things running. And next week, get ready for some awesome beginner hints and tips to kickstart your running journey. Oh, and before we sign off, exciting news. We're now available on YouTube. So whether you're pounding the pavement or chilling at home, you can catch us there too. Hey, if you want to keep up with the latest updates, behind the scenes fun, and even some exclusive content, make sure to follow me on social media. You can find me on Twitter, or should I say X, at Brian's Run Pod. We've also just launched a shiny new Facebook page. Simply search for Brian's Run Pod and give us a like. And don't forget to hop on over to Instagram, where you can catch all our visual adventures at Brian's Run Pod. For those of you who love diving deep into the episodes, head over to our website, www.briansrunpod.co.uk, and there you'll find detailed show notes, handy chapter markers, make it too easy to navigate through our favourite discussions. Please leave a review, as it will always help others find this podcast. Music is by Happy Days by Stock Audio, not forgetting artwork by Alice Patterson. Till next week, thanks again for listening.